Well, hey there, you awesome bipeds, quadrupeds, and even the occasional dinosaurs. It is I, Little Wolf, and welcome to my den. Go ahead and come on in, but please wipe your paws before entering, and go ahead and take a seat by the fire. The cauldron is bubbling, so you can have your choice of tea, coffee, or hot chocolate. And it's the beginning of the week, and it's kinda Sunday when I'm recording this, so I can get it all done and put together and hopefully not have any cartoons be banned. So I hope you guys made it through spring forward okay and got your clocks set ahead if you do that where you're at. I still think that's kind of a weird thing to do, but oh well, we're still gonna have to do it because the people at the top like controlling people with time. Okay, so we are now on number 72 of Vintage Cartoons Revisited. Holy cow, I can't believe that. We are almost three quarters of a way to 100 episodes of this. That is just so cool. Oh man, I know it helps a lot of you out there get your week going on a easy step or taking a break from whatever is happening on a Monday. And Mondays are always pretty tough for most people, so I like to try and give you guys a quick little break and a breather and a chance to look at some cartoons that I grew up with on VHS and just kind of saw on TV as I was growing up. Alright, so if you ever feel like you need any help and you're not sure who to talk to, if you're in the US, please call the US Suicide Prevention number, which is 988. You call them and you can talk to them and they'll hook you up with doctors or whatever you might need. If you need that help, please call them. And also, if you're outside the US, which is pretty much everyone else, please go to blog.opencounseling.com/suicide hyphen hotlines slash. And if you go there, they'll give you a list of all the other countries out there, and you can click on websites and numbers and hopefully get the help that way there if you need it. Alright, so we're going to jump into our first cartoon here, and I wanted to kind of make it fun, and this one is from 1934, and it's called How's Crops. Now, the synopsis of it is kind of really just weird, and it's one sentence. It's, Cubby and his girlfriend go underground and make synthetic foods? And that's all that says. That is kind of what happens. It is what happens, but it leaves so much out. You start off with Cubby and his girlfriend eating breakfast, and the girlfriend is being served eggs from a bird, question mark. Then sausage is brought out by a pig, question mark. That's just another area of the craziness of this cartoon. And for some reason, crops are being said to be taken for some mysterious thing, or they're disappearing and they're not sure why. And any help to try and figure out what's going on will be appreciated. And so Cubby and his girlfriend decide to go underground, and it's kind of cool when they do. They have like this weird jar system all set up, and they do have all of these little fireflies that they put in there to light everything up, and they set about making synthetic foods. They get a help from a worm to dig different holes so they can put the crops up. You see them making kind of corn, you see them making beans, you see them making watermelon, different things like that. And as these things are being pushed up from under the ground to above ground, there's a possum that's there trying to steal all of the food as it's being made. So I'm guessing that's what's stealing the food, but we're not sure. So everything keeps going on. Somehow the worm gets hurt. It gets thrown against a tree and then just like stiffens up. I thought it kind of kicked the bucket a little bit there, but no, it just kind of got knocked out and hurt. And as different things happen, the worm sees the possum taking the food and tries to get up, gets crushed by an apple, gets hurt that way, and so then the possum is able to take more food. And finally, after a little bit, the worm gets down and lets them know what's going on. And they go up and they confront him with a very interesting pineapple. I'll put it that way. And then everything gets blown sky high into the sky and fall down, interestingly, in very nice rows of crops. So basically gave away everything that happens in this. But it is a very fun cartoon, and to see everything being made and done is going to make up for it. So let's go ahead and jump underground, and let's make some synthetic food.
The possum is stealing everything.
It was kind of weird to sit there and watch them making all that different food, making it kind of synthetically and seeing what they do. Kind of makes you a little bit wondrous about the GMO foods a little bit. I'm not really all that worried about it too much because my wife likes to shop pretty smart and buys a lot of healthy food. I eat more spinach than I would like to admit. But yeah, that's alright. So let's go ahead and jump into our next cartoon here. And let's see here. Let's go to 19. Let's see here. Let's go 1948 with Make Mine Freedom. Now, this is an interesting one, and it probably will be banned for the different kind of things that happen in it. It starts off talking about how we have our different kind of rights in America that we have, not to have any like illegal search and seizures, being able to have trial by jury, things like that. And along the way comes this kind of snake oil salesman, and he's selling this jar of stuff called ism. And I'm sorry, but every time I see ism, I think of Jeranism. But at least he's kind of on the right side of things now. But that's kind of cool. It's interesting because the salesman is telling them, oh, you'll get this, and you'll get this, and you'll get this if you take it. You'll get more work, you'll get less hours, and things like that. And also, you have to sign this contract, and in there it says you're going to lose some freedoms, but you're going to gain this. And as the salesman is talking, there's, I think, a rail worker, there's a farmer, and a few other people. And on a bench is sleeping a person who wakes up and hears all the promises being made from this ism stuff. And he turns out to be called Jon Q. Publik. And he asks the salesman, what about this, this, or this? And it's just kind of interesting, weird answers. And so Jon Q. Publik finally says, this isn't what is supposed to happen. This isn't what America is about. And before you sign away your life on this contract, how about you take a little bit of this stuff and see what happens? And as they do, the rail worker is getting in trouble at work with different things, and a union is being said that I think isn't going to happen, or if it is happening, that it's weird when you look at it. This cartoon is really gonna be one of those, like, skirting the line of a lot of things. And I know it's gonna, if any cartoon is probably gonna get me in any little bit of trouble, it might be this one. Because it kind of shows what America kind of wanted to be, and I think part still does. And it's just kind of interesting to see, because this is from back then, 1948, and we're not too far from that now. We're 3 years away from 28. So, man, just the numbers alone, the short distance of time between, and it does seem like there is quite a bit of time between 48 and now. But when you really start doing the math in it, it isn't. It's just kind of weird to see how things were then and how they thought of snake oil salesmen then, and kind of where we are in present day. So let's go ahead and jump into this one and see what happens with a snake oil salesman selling ism.
America is many things to many people. To a 17-year-old kid, it's the malt shop on the corner. To Grandpa, it's the front porch in the cool of the evening. To Mother and her family, it's church on Sunday morning. And to Dad, it's his favorite relaxation. It's the Cracker Barrel philosophers in Crabtree Corners. And it's the tycoons in Wall Street. It's all races, creeds, and religions. It's freedom to work at the job you like. Freedom of speech and to peaceably assemble. Freedom to own property. Security from unlawful search or seizure.
Where's your warrant, Flatfoot?
The right to a speedy and public trial. Protection against cruel punishments and excessive fines. The right to vote. And to worship God in your own way. It is these freedoms that have made America strong.
Okay, so we got our freedom. But management's lousing up everything.
Labor is at fault. It's ruining the country.
My constituents, as your elected representative, I can assure you Labor's right, management's right. I'm strictly neutral.
Labor, management, politicians,
phooey. They can't tell corn from oats.
Work! It's only taking money out of
Hurry, step right up, folks. Here's the answer to your problems. Dr. Utopia's sensational new discovery, ism. Ism will cure any ailment of the body politic. It's terrific. It's tremendous. Once you swallow the contents of this bottle, you'll have the bountiful benefit of higher wages, shorter hours, and security. Enormous profits, no strikes. Remember, you're the big boss. Government control, no worry about votes. Name your own salary. Bigger crops, lower costs. Why, ism even makes the weather perfect every day. And now then, because we are introducing this amazing item for the first time in this country, it isn't going to cost you 1 cent. All you have to do is sign this little scrap of paper, and you get your bottle absolutely free.
I hereby turn over to Ism Incorporated everything I have, including my freedom and the freedom of my children and my children's children, in return for which said ism promises to take care of me forever.
Get out of the way!
Pardon me.
And who are you, my good man?
I'm Jon Q. Publik.
Ah, my fine friend, you're just in time to share this generous and gigantic offer. Sign right here.
Mind if I read it first?
Hurry up now here!
Keep your shirts on, boys. Including my freedom. Freedom? Well, sign away my freedom. Why, this is ridiculous.
Don't be corny, brother.
Sure, our system of free enterprise isn't perfect. But before we throw it away for some imported double talk, let's turn the clock back a few years to see what it's done for us. For example, back in the 1890s, Joe Dokes was just a guy who liked to tinker around his barn. Some people thought Joe was lazy. Some even thought he was nuts. But one day, he had an idea. And because he was free to dream his dream and tinker, Joe had a chance to make something of himself and his idea. So, of course, some people didn't think so much of Joe's idea. But that didn't stop him. So Joe got some money from young Aunt Minnie and Uncle Angus and Grandpappy and Mr. Titus. When Joe's friends and relatives used their savings to help him buy tools and property, they were capitalists. Don't blush, folks. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Now, naturally, Joe needed some help. So he hired Willie Lumpkin, who was out of work anyway, and before long, Willie had the know-how and became skilled labor. Because capital, management, and labor worked together, Joe's idea grew. It grew and did things even he never dreamed of. Today, the automobile industry provides millions of jobs that never existed before. And remember, this is a story of only one industry. There are thousands more scattered all over the United States whose history of development is pretty much the same. We've built a country under the American system that sends more young people to high school and college than all the rest of the world combined. Why, even in the Depression, our wages bought more food, clothing, travel, and entertainment than the wages of any other people in the world. Our country has a national income equal to the total national incomes of any other 6 nations in the world. With only 7% of the Earth's people, we drive 70% of the world's automobiles. That's just a sample of the things the capitalistic system has given us in only 160 years. Before signing up, you boys ought to try a little taste of Dr. Ism's formula to see what you'd get in exchange for your freedom. Go ahead, try it.
You can't do this to me! I'll strike!
The state forbids strikes.
Wait till the union hears about this!
Ah, yes, the Union. Welcome to our ranks, number 1313.
I'll take this case to the Supreme Court.
The state is the Supreme Court. Our decision is as follows. No more private property. No more you.
The farm vote will put a stop to this.
Farmers don't vote anymore.
What'll I do for seed next year?
You won't have to worry about next year. The state will do your planning from now on.
We must fight to regain our freedom, or everything is lost. Everything!
Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Everything is fine.
When anybody preaches disunity, tries to pit one of us against the other through class warfare, race hatred, or religious intolerance, you know that person seeks to rob us of our freedom and destroy our very lives. And we know what to do about it.
Now, gentlemen, no violence, please. Don't throw those bottles. Don't throw those bottles! No! Oh, no! No! Hey!
Working together to produce an ever greater abundance of material and spiritual values for all. That is the secret of American prosperity.
That was an odd cartoon, huh? And I do hope it kind of stays in the lineup of this, because it will be kind of a fun one to show, like, what people thought life should have been like then, or what they wanted to fight for, and we're still kind of fighting for the same thing. It's just kind of interesting when you think about it that way. But let's jump into our last cartoon, sadly. But it's gonna be a fun one. I wanted to end this one on kind of a more fun note instead of just being all like dreary and everything else. Let's see here. We are jumping into 1949, and it's called Farm Foolery. The sad part about this is I can't really find any synopsises, something like that. I can't find anything like that for it, so this is another reason why sometimes I do watch cartoons beforehand, and I'm starting to do that more and more. The last few ones I've watched them just so I can really know what happens in it. But in this one, excuse me. It's the opposite of what it is now. They're kind of going into the fall season, so it's harvest season, and you have different animals on the farm kind of helping out doing the harvesting. Even animals that wouldn't really be on a farm. But you have different animals trying to get the corn picked up and harvested. You have a beaver that smacks it and lets all of the cobs fall onto his tail, and he rushes it out that way. You have an elephant and bunny. The group is crushing up wine. For some reason, that scene kind of reminded me a little bit of Walk in the Clouds with Keanu Reeves, where he pretends to marry the one girl because she goes home being pregnant and unwed. Okay, sorry. But it reminded me of that. Very good movie, one of my favorite Keanu Reeves movies. Um, just I love a good romance, and such a good movie, and that reminded me of it. And just all the different ways that they're harvesting all of the different food, getting ready for the winter time where we're coming into our spring and summertime here in the northern hemisphere. Southern hemisphere, you guys are going into the opposite. So this is gonna be a bit more fun, and I hope it lightens up the mood a bit, and just to go a bit from the opposite of what's happening now. So let's go ahead and jump into the farm foolery. And there definitely is some, because at the end there's a hoedown. And there's a mouse in here that kind of reminds me of Herman Mouse. So it's definitely some foolery. So let's go ahead and jump into the harvest and see what happens.
Even while you're busy working, do just like the birdies do. Though the day may be long, you never will go wrong. Off key, on key, any old key, just start the day with a song.
Harvest time! Harvest time!
Harvest is just the time of the year to sing that old favorite, Shine On Harvest Moon. Do you remember it? Well, if you don't, just follow me.
Shine on, harvest moon in the sky. Shine, and no longer think January, February, June, July. No time, ain't no time to stay. Harvest moon, so shine on, harvest moon for me, my girl. The night was mighty dark, so you could hardly see, for the moon refused to shine. Underneath the willow tree, for love they pine. Little maid was quite afraid of darkness, so she said, I guess I'll go. Boy began to sigh, and he looked up at the sky, and he told the moon his little tale of woe. Shine on, harvest moon up in the sky. Lying, and no longer since January, February, June, July. No time, ain't no time to stay. Harvest moon, so shine on, harvest moon for me, my gal.
Now let's hear it good and loud.
I can see why a boy should cry when by his side is the girl he loves so true. All you have to say is, won't you be my bride, for I love you. Why should I be telling you the secret when I know that you can guess? Shine along the while, if the little girl should answer yes, 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 yes. Shine on, harvest moon, in the sky. I ain't any longer since January, February, July. So fine up the time to stay out, sit around and so shine on, harvest moon, be my gal.
See, that was a fun way to end it, and especially with the hoedown there and the mouse still having the little bit of effects of the spinach, which definitely reminded me a lot of Popeye. So that definitely made me smile, and seeing all the different things that happen in it. It was definitely a fun way to end off this lineup of cartoons. I hope you guys did enjoy these. It was fun going through and looking up these different cartoons. It's just so fun to be able to do this and put them together, and to somewhat kind of preserve these cartoons in another way besides them being in the archive.org areas, and just being able to preserve them here on my channel and share them here in the den. I love you guys so much, and thank you for all of your support. Please leave a like and comment. What did you think of the cartoon? Which one was the craziest, do you think? It was just so much fun, especially with a lot of the political climate nowadays, so it'll be interesting to see if that one cartoon does go through. I hope it does. But it's definitely interesting to jump back into time, and even through cartoons try and see what they thought life would have been like, what life was going to be like, and things like that. We definitely have a lot of things like that, especially when you go and look at the Jetsons, and I definitely think that they're a good reason why many people kind of think we should have our flying cars by now. I really don't think we should have those. We can barely drive on the ground as it is. Adding flight for everybody probably isn't a good idea. A little bit safer idea is the one that my wife likes, and that's to get everybody jetpacks. She is so ready for hers. We saw the one video of, what was it, the British Army that had their jetpacks, and she was just so upset. She's like, "Where's mine?" Jetpacks would definitely make it so much easier to travel around and do the different things we want to do. She wants to drive around and see the different waterfalls that are around. She's like addicted to waterfalls, and they're very beautiful, and she loves the water. She just loves being out in nature. So she's definitely a hippie. I love you, but it's true. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens here on out. I'm gonna be taking on a bit more of a different role in the household. And hopefully it'll help me deal with some of my memory stuff, but that's more down the road and later on. But thank you guys for tuning in here and sharing these cartoons with me. I hope you guys enjoyed them. I hope you guys had a good break. Hopefully a couple of good laughs and just fun. I hope you had a break. We definitely need that now. And good lord, I kinda did a weird little premonition thing when I said I hope we get a cold snap and a little bit of snow. We definitely had our cold snap. It got to below freezing the other day. I woke up and it was, what, 28 degrees? So like just a little below 0 Celsius. And then a little bit after that we got a quick little dump of snow. It didn't really stick around much. It stuck around a little on the mountain some, but no. We did hear a lady when we were out thrift shopping the other day that thinks that we're gonna get a big dump in April. I kinda hope so, and I kinda don't, but let's see if that happens. It's gonna be interesting. This is gonna be an interesting summer for everybody, I think. Let's just wait and see what happens. But we're gonna wait and see what happens together. This is definitely gonna be a bumpy ride for some people and very slippery. I love you guys so much, and just let's do this together. If you ever want to help out the channel even more, please leave a like and leave a comment. Share this with a friend of yours that likes old cartoons. And if you want to help out even more when you go out and about, please remember to mask up. We still have a bunch of different flus and colds going around. Apparently we now have measles back. Yay. So with that said, try and go out and get your vaccinations and your booster shots. That'll help you and your family be safer. It'll help strangers be a little bit safer. And remember, they're not supposed to stop you from getting it. It's supposed to help your body know what it is and help you be able to fight it. And of course, when you're out and about, please remember to try and just distance yourself a little bit from everybody around you. We don't need to be so close to each other. Good lord, just because we think it's not as prolific as it was. We have new strains coming out, we have new flus, so let's just try and keep ourselves healthy. And doing all of that, we do have one here in the den that we can hashtag protect the lioness. And thank you again for all of your support and everything else. I love you bipeds, quadrupeds, and even the occasional dinosaurs so much. So until next time, Wolf out.